The last one.
Yeah, I'm with Nikki on this. The Misty story is for sure the lie.
I'm gonna have to go with the first one. There's no way you've seen Kanye live twice and you just like never mentioned it.
It's just you, Marnie. Take your guess.
Damn. The shoplifting incident definitely happened. I was there for that. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say the Misty thing.
Final answer?
Final answer.
So, Paul is right. I haven't seen Taylor twice.
Oh, shit. Well, cheers.
But if you include his OBO set, I've actually seen him 3 times.
Excuse me, I thought you were on Team Taylor with me. You were literally the first person I called when that video came out.
I contain multitudes.
I hope you're not listening to his shit. I mean, he's a misogynist and an abuse apologist, and I would hate to think you're still giving him Spotify royalties.
They should really call it cancer culture because that's exactly what it is. And also, for the record, we torrent our shit. We're musical purists.
Who's up next?
Okay, so I have a birthmark shaped like New Zealand's South Island on my left thigh. Second, right before grade 8 graduation, I did this juice cleanse where I basically ate carrots and nothing else, and I did in fact end up walking across the stage completely orange.
I'm letting you know right now, that's not the lie.
And the third thing is bullshit.
Bullshit?
Kelly, your Misty story was also a lie. It had to have been.
I promise you it's not. That really was the day Misty died. And I remember I didn't have my phone with me at Vest's office. And we even didn't find out until we got home.
Are you sure?
There's no way that's true. I was still dating Patrick when you called me and told me about Misty.
Ugh, Patrick.
And that would have had to have been the summer because we definitely did not make it to the fall.
No, you did not.
It's probably like a false memory or something. Like you're conflating these 2 separate days because you can't process 2 bad things, so it makes it into like one bad thing. Does that make sense?
No.
They say when really, really bad things are happening, people get like collectively traumatized by it. And then they create false memories.
Collectively traumatized? You're so full of it. Stop pretending you know shit about psychology.
I'm a philosophy major with a minor in public arts administration. I don't know shit about shit. But I do know that everyone remembers where they were that day. There's no confusion about it, no maybes. It's one of those things where everyone knows where they were.
I get it. It's kind of like 9/11. Everyone remembers where they were on 9/11.
You remember 9/11?
Well, no, but like old people do, I guess.
I remember when MJ died. I was in an airport in Paris.
Of course you were.
You should have seen everyone flocking around the TV. You would have expected mushroom clouds and alien invasion. The flight attendant who checked my boarding pass is choking up.
Or like the Taylor Swift Kanye West thing. I remember when that video dropped, I was dating Patrick, and he didn't care at all about the most explosive plot twist in pop culture of the modern era. I slipped away to call Kelly because I needed to talk to someone who understood the magnitude of the situation, you know? Someone on my side, or so I thought.
So I guess graduation holds up. Sue me. And I will have you know I have no memory problems. I know exactly where I was when I was burying Misty. once we brought her home, it was so small. I can't believe she was really in there.
Was a very fat dog.
Mom didn't come to the vet with us that night. And she wasn't in the yard when we buried her either. Huh. I guess she's not good with that kind of stuff, no? So it was just Dad and I burying her. Oh really? It was just me burying her, like Dad didn't dig or anything. I guess that makes sense. He never really wanted a dog, or as he called her, a fat rat with a bad haircut.
Rude, but not inaccurate.
Look, I got it. She was a husky for Shih Tzu. Anyways, it was nice he was there at least. I wasn't just burying her alone. It made it feel like, I don't know, like it was a real funeral or something. I think Misty deserved that.
Good. She was a great dog.
Truly. I hope you bodied the eulogy.
No, there was nothing like that. I mean, it's dumb. But I couldn't imagine crying in front of my dad. Like, I didn't want him to turn into some sort of moment between us, you know? I feel like I owed Misty a funeral, but I didn't owe my dad.
A moment?
I guess not. You know, after she was already buried and I was about to pack it all in, and he grabbed my shoulder, told a Shih Tzu joke.
The Shih Tzu joke?
Shih Tzu joke.
I went to the zoo the other day, but the only animal there was a dog.
It was a Shih Tzu!
I mean, it had been a while since I'd heard him crack a dad joke. It had been a while since I heard him crack any joke.
Sounds like it was a moment.
And not a half bad eulogy either.
You know what? Yeah. But that was when my mom came out, and she was crying a little bit. And I was like, hey, maybe I wasn't the only person in the house who torn up over Misty. But it was like she had forgotten all about her. And she was like,
Have you been watching the news?
and I was like, no, obviously not, Mom. Misty just died. And she said,
You're gonna want to watch this.
and that's how I found out. And to be honest, I was kind of glad that Misty was dead, because I might have been the only person in the house who could tolerate that dog.
In your parents' defense, she did smell terrible.
I know she smelled terrible, but she loved us. My mom might have been a little bit indifferent to her, but Misty loved my mom. She didn't like seeing my mom cry, which, as you know, isn't exactly a rare thing.
No, it's not.
I feel kind of glad that I was the only one who had to watch my mom cry now.
I mean, it's kind of nice that your mom even cares about the state of the world. My mom was throwing a party. Like, she was naive enough to think that there was anything worth celebrating.
Your mom threw a party to celebrate?
No, not actually. I mean, it was one of her stupid pyramid scheme parties. It's just like, we all knew this was coming, you know? Anyone with half a brain.
Well, hold on. I didn't see it coming at all.
Which was it? The one almost got her sued and turned Jen Chapman's mom's skin green.
Or was it that line of dairy-free, gluten-free protein shakes that actually turned out to have a lot of gluten, like
And
a lot of it.
dairy. A lot of dairy.
That was a rough Tuesday.
I can't even remember. I think it was that Tupperware knockoff brand that you had to order for a catalog. Yeah, that was it. It was kind of a hit. Mom came this close to breaking even.
I'm confused. Why does a Tupperware knockoff warrant a party?
Okay, let's say you've just ordered $600 worth of Tupperware and you realize there's no demand for knockoff Tupperware. Do you cut your losses and swear off MLMs? Or do you buy a couple bottles of rosé, invite a few friends and family over under the guise of a party, and then make them feel obliged to hear your sales pitch?
Oh boy, it reminds me of those plants. What do you call them? The ones that have teeth and the insects that land on them.
I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, the point isn't about selling stuff. It's about getting premium distributors or whatever euphemism that scam had for suckers.
I'm sorry. Your mom is great and all, but what kind of a person actually falls to those schemes?
The scariest demographic there is. The wine moms. The ones that stay home all day and talk like human Pinterest boards, saying shit like,
Wine improves with age. I improve with wine.
and
I deal with screaming kids all day. Now it's my turn to whine.
and the kids are at each other's throats as always, wreaking absolute havoc. And I just want to go to my room, but fuck. Christmas is around the corner, and if we don't get these premium distributors, it's gonna suck this year. So now she has me hustling. I honestly think I might be good at scamming. Like, I had this lady who lives upstairs just about ready to sign on to this thing when I got the notification on my phone. And then it's like, suddenly, the twins are fighting in slow motion, and I can hear my heartbeat echoing off the fucking walls. I'm just trying to get it together. And one of the wine moms says the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. She says,
Drunk wives matter.
and it's the funniest shit I've heard in my life. I'm fucking cackling. Drunk wives matter? It's so vile, so tasteless, so flawlessly reflective of this toxic and unrelenting vapidness of the suburban cage I felt trapped in my entire life, but also sort of funny. Like, really sort of funny. So I'm dying, and soon all the wine moms are too, and the neighbors are knocking on our door telling us to shut the fuck up, but we don't. We just keep on laughing. And then smack! Jackson's just smacked Jamie right in the fucking nose. Like, he's really got his shit rocked. There's blood everywhere, and that's kind of funny too, so we just keep on laughing while he's screaming his head off. And it's that moment when I realize that nothing's going to quite feel the same again. That this stupid Tupperware pyramid scheme party is the last time things would be normal.
The last tupper.
You guys are so wrong, though. Like, everything feels exactly the same.
How can you say that?
Because I'm right. Like, I at least thought we'd get some decent, socially conscious pop music out of this whole ordeal. But, I mean, if you disagree, name at least one truly great, like, protest song of the past few years. Or at least, like, one way in which your lives have materially changed.
It's not about us, okay? It's about like the world. Obviously, I haven't been impacted on a personal level.
Well, I have.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did it cancel the credit card your parents pay off at the end of every month for you? Did it wipe away all the frequent flyer miles you have? Did it take away the downtown Manhattan studio you've never had to pay rent in?
Oh, well, look, Paul, not everything is about money, okay? If it wasn't for that night, I would be in New York right now.
What? I thought your mom made you come home. What? That's what you said. You had 6 months to get a callback. Any callback. And you didn't.
Oh, but can't you see how these two things are connected?
No.
No.
Well, you don't even know how hard it was. That night was the 1,000th audition I had been to, and they all went the exact same way, with casting directors that cut me off in 30 seconds and say in these fake friendly voices, "That was great."
Really great.
There's just one thing.
And it's a small thing, really.
It's just
This role calls for a very...
athletic body type.
It's a very physical role.
Right, very physical. And we're afraid
Audiences might want someone a little more...
feminine.
in a traditional sense.
Right, athletic and feminine.
In a traditional sense.
It's a hard line to walk.
But that's what we're trying to do.
And of course, at the end of it all, they still have the nerve to say,
We'll be in touch!
yeah, obviously not.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, let me finish. So I get out of my audition and people are already taking to the streets. They were all walking down Fifth Avenue. And I thought they'd be celebrating because I thought everyone would be celebrating. But then the texts start coming in and I'd only been there 5.5 months,
Okay.
No, it's not okay. I had 6 months to get a call back. Not even get cast. Just get a call back. You don't know what could have happened in those 2 weeks. I had been taking lessons. I had gotten better headshots. I was getting good. I could feel myself getting good. But none of that mattered. That night, I packed up and moved back home. And that night is why I never left the house again.
You moved back because...
Because that night made it obvious. You can't game the patriarchy. The world is an impossible place for women to succeed. It doesn't matter if they're smart or qualified or good or getting good. Women can't win. Not in any way that matters. It's like symbolic.
It was like an omen. We missed you dying.
Okay, omen my ass. That day was the best day of your life.
Well, that is obscene and violent and privileged.
And true. It was great because it gave you something new to be angry about. Because, frankly, everything you had to be angry about before was kind of boring. And Kelly, I love you, but Misty was a morbidly obese 14-year-old Shih Tzu. Her death should not be seen as an omen, but as a testimonial to whatever vet kept her alive so long. And your acting career was a pipe dream. And you know that this has not affected you in any way. And yet, somehow, it's still the most interesting thing to ever happen to you.
So what were you doing that night?
I don't know.
You can't remember at all?
I was probably getting laid or smoking weed. I did a lot of both back then. Maybe I got laid and then smoked weed, or maybe I smoked weed and then got laid. Like, I hardly knew you back then.
Everyone remembers where they were that night. Like, even if they saw it coming, they remember that moment of devastation.
Or they remember cheering along.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Cheering along. I cheered. The same way you do when you show your doctor that weird mole thing growing on your shoulder and they send you in for testing. I cheered the way you do when you're fighting with your dad and he finally hits you. Because now you know. Now you know you have it bad. You always thought you did. You always thought you had it so much worse than everyone else. And now, you know it's true. I cheered like that. Because things have always been shitty. What, like, you think like acid rain just became a thing? Or fucking Yemen drone strikes? Or fucking shark finning? The world has always been filled with microplastics and Agent Orange and payday loans and all sorts of other horrible shit.
Paul, take this down a notch.
If I were a woman, I would say you're tone policing. Anyways, look, the world has always been a horrible place, and now we can't pretend things are good. Everybody had their smug smiles wiped off their smug faces that night because they couldn't just pretend things were fine anymore. You know what I mean, I bet. It must have been a relief. Knowing how all your neighbors and your classmates, your coworkers really felt. Who they were. Behind closed doors.
You're wrong.
About which part?
All of it, as usual. Do you really think I don't know how people feel about me? Do you think people ever try to keep a secret? And it's never been a relief.
But you guys are probably wrong too. I don't know if everything has changed. Like, we already knew my dad probably wasn't going to be coming home anytime soon, no matter what happened. But, I guess we'll never know. Either way, it went from probably not going to happen to definitely not overnight. And that's not nothing.
Where were you that night?
Who knows? Home, probably. That's usually where I am on school nights.
Oh, I remember the next day a bit better. Because I remember calling my grandmother and debating whether or not to tell her the truth. Well, the doctors told us not to lie to her. They said she'd have better memory in the long run if we just answered her questions directly. But she barely even knows what's going on half the time. Like, you might as well make that half bearable. So when she asked about the night before, I was completely ready to lie. But then it turned out that she didn't want to know about Dad or the state of the world or the news. She wanted to know if it had snowed. She told me when she first came to North America, she had never seen snow before. And
I'd never really thought of that before, and it made me think about how long it had been since my dad saw snow, and how now he might never. Her window in the hospital used to face this alleyway, so she could never tell when it was sunny or cloudy or anything else. So that night, she had thought it was maybe snowing, but nothing stuck to the pavement. So I told her, yeah, it had been snowing. And that was kind of nice, being able to tell her the truth.
Kelly, did you dig a hole in the snow? It was snowing outside.
More of a freezing rain, actually, but
Even worse for grave digging, I'd assume.
Oh shit. Maybe I was wrong, huh?
You were. I knew that story couldn't be true. I was literally with Patrick when you called me and told me about Misty.
I didn't call you. I didn't want to talk with anyone. You called me.
Did I? Maybe I did. Honestly, I probably just couldn't stand to be around Patrick anymore.
Yeah, none of us could.
He was so boring to gossip with. He just did not understand the magnitude of that video.
That stupid video! It was that stupid Kanye West video, the one with the Taylor Swift. That was what my mom was all up in arms about.
That woman is uniquely obsessed with e-talk.
It's embarrassing, really. But anyway, that's why I called you, though. I just needed to talk to someone who understood the international implications of such a scandal. So, where were you then when it actually happened?
I don't know. With Paul, maybe?
It was around the time we started hanging out. I don't even know if I had met you guys yet.
You definitely met me. You made an impression. Now that's something I couldn't forget.
I remember that too. Your mom was there, and she was trying to push those protein shakes on us.
They were not dairy free.
Or gluten-free.
It was that night, wasn't it?
Man. Oh, it's all coming back to me. Yeah.
I almost crushed a car when I was trying to get us to somewhere with a bathroom in time. And that was the second worst experience at an IHOP I've ever had.
That was really a rough Tuesday.
There's no privacy.
I've never seen it so busy. Maybe it's just a sign of the times. Like all these people trying to drown their sorrow in pancakes. They were a mess.
All of us were. Believe it or not, that was a turning point for us.
Oh, really?
I wasn't sure about you for the longest time. Because, that was bizarre being with someone who couldn't be vulnerable.
Well, I was definitely vulnerable that night.
You cried that night.
Because of the gastric pain, not the news.
I remember a little bit differently.
So, who's up next?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh, you guys, I'm bored of drinking games anyway. Can we just play some music or something?
Kanye?
Don't you dare even try.
Hold on one second, guys. The Zoom call is about to expire. Give me 1 second. I'll send you guys a new link.